Bananas have long been the friendliest fruit for us because of their high nutritional value and low price. Every year, more than 139 million tons of bananas are produced worldwide, with the highest production in India and China. So do you know how the journey of bananas from the farm to the consumer is? And how people will handle tons of banana waste? Let's explore with us right now. Bananas are grown in 130 countries around the world, mainly in the tropics. They are the second most produced fruit after citrus, contributing about 16% of the world's fruit production and the fourth most important food crop after rice, wheat and corn. Bananas are harvested year-round, and can be harvested slightly ripe or fully ripe depending on market preference. However, most bananas are harvested when the fruit has reached maturity for ease of processing and consumption. There are many different methods of harvesting bananas, but they are mostly done by hand to ensure that the bananas are in the best condition. Each bunch of bananas is cut from the tree and transported to the processing plant, where they are packaged for consumption or export. What is particularly surprising is the unique way of transporting the bananas. A pulley system is designed to connect the farm to the processing facility, reducing labor and increasing productivity. Exported bananas undergo an intensive quality control process to ensure that they reach their final destination in optimal condition and without blemishes, dirt or scars on the fruit. This also results in increased waste from the processing. At processing plants where bananas are picked and packed, fruits are discarded when they are not in their optimal state, bruised, insect-infested and stained. This creates a huge waste in the banana processing process along with the waste after harvest. After each banana harvest, nearly 60% of the banana biomass is left as waste. The waste generated during the care and harvesting process includes banana stems, banana leaves, and banana peels. Due to the perishability and short shelf life of bananas, significant decomposition occurs during harvesting and post-harvest handling, resulting in waste. Worldwide, approximately 114.08 million tons of banana waste are generated, leading to environmental problems such as excessive greenhouse gas emissions. Part of this waste will be recycled as it contains high levels of cellulose and natural fibers, which are of prime industrial importance. In India, banana waste is much higher than in other countries, so scientists have studied and turned it into useful things. Banana stems can be used to weave cloth, make paper and even produce sanitary napkins. All this has helped to utilize all the uses of banana trees, thereby creating jobs for thousands of Indians. Not only in India, but also in Africa, bananas not only provide economic stability from its fruit, but other parts are also utilized and developed economically. In developing countries, banana cultivation, harvesting and processing are very important. It is closely linked to national food security and community life. Despite the many ways to recycle banana waste, millions of tons are still dumped on farms or in forests every year. From discarded bananas to their stems and leaves. In these waste piles, bananas quickly decompose and become a layer of organic fertilizer, beneficial to plants. However, if composted, they need to be kept away from residential areas or farms because they can be a breeding ground for mosquitoes and harmful bacteria. Despite the high amount of waste, banana production is increasing every year. Millions of hectares of bananas are grown all over the world. Because bananas are an excellent source of nutrition and cheap for humans. Bananas are a rich source of carbohydrates and vitamins, especially B vitamins. They are also a good source of potassium, phosphorus, calcium and magnesium. They are easy to digest and contain no fat or cholesterol. Scientists also believe that bananas help reduce the risk of heart disease when consumed regularly and are recommended for patients with high blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, gastroenteritis, and kidney disorders. How do you feel? Leave your comments below to let us know.
In Vietnam, golden berries appear everywhere, from gardens near houses, large fields to roadsides, where they grow wild with strong vitality without any care. But surprisingly, in some countries like Japan, this fruit is sold for up to nearly $28 per kilogram. What makes such a big difference? Is there any secret behind this interesting golden fruit? Let's explore with us in today's video. Golden berries are extremely familiar to Vietnamese farmers because they are associated with the childhood of many generations. The small fruits with a characteristic thick skin, just squeezed lightly, will make a very pleasant pop sound. However, while in Vietnam, they are just a common fruit. In Japan, this is an expensive specialty, sought after for nearly $28 per kilogram. Why is that? The secret lies in the difference between these two fruit varieties. The world-famous golden berry is Physalis peruviana, originating from South America. They have a beautiful round shape, smooth shiny skin, and a pleasant sweet and sour taste. Meanwhile, the golden berry that grows wild in Vietnam belongs to the Physalis angulata species, is smaller and has a less prominent flavor. It is this South American fruit variety that has created a special value, superior in both appearance and quality. Not only attractive in appearance, the South American golden berry is also considered a natural multivitamin, thanks to its rich nutritional content. They are rich in vitamins A, C, iron, and antioxidants, providing health benefits such as boosting the immune system, preventing aging, and protecting the cardiovascular system. In the past, explorers often brought this fruit with them as a remedy for scurvy. The golden berries of South America are loved in many countries around the world, so much so that they are called by dozens of different names, such as Peruvian cherry, Inca berry, pichu fruit, poha fruit, and gooseberry. They often appear in high-end restaurants as an exquisite dessert decoration. Although originating from the Andes of Peru, today this fruit has been widely bred and grown in many countries such as South Africa, China, Australia, Hawaii, and Central and South American countries. In fact, they can be grown anywhere suitable for growing tomatoes, as both species have similar growth characteristics. As the name suggests, golden berries are bright yellow or slightly orange, up to 1 inch in diameter, surrounded by a straw-colored calyx when fully mature. They can be grown as annuals or perennials, 3 to 4 years, depending on the climate, and are grown from seeds or cuttings. Although they prefer full direct sunlight, they tolerate shade and cooler temperatures. When growing golden berries, provide adequate moisture and shade in hot climates until the plant flowers. This plant does not tolerate extreme temperature or too little water, which will cause the plant to go dormant. One of the features of growing golden berries is that the plants are grown as bushes and fixed on trellises or stakes. When the plants are well established, they can grow 2 to 3 feet tall, so trellises make care and harvesting easier. Golden berries will begin to bear fruit after 100 to 120 days and produce a large quantity of fruit. At lower elevations, well-watered plants can produce over 1,000 small berries per bush. Conversely, at higher elevations, where plants are not well watered, they produce only about 300 berries per bush, but are larger in size. During harvest, golden berries can be harvested every few days to weeks, as the outer calyx dries and turns from green to straw yellow. Peak production in South America tends to be in October and February. Golden berries are usually hand-harvested to avoid bruising. Berries will stay fresh longer in the calyx, about 60 days, than outdoors, up to 30 days. Commercial producers will freeze golden berries in the calyx at 33 degrees Fahrenheit for up to a year. Golden berries can be made into fruit sauces, jams, or eaten fresh in salads and fruit salads. They are also used in some places to make smoothies and desserts in high-end restaurants. Nowadays, you can also find dried golden berries to help preserve them longer. With great nutritional value and economic potential, many countries have expanded the cultivation of this fruit. The selling price of these products can be up to $10 to $15 per kilogram, showing a complete difference from common wild berries. Like other superfoods, golden berries bring undeniable health benefits. If you haven't tried it, enjoy it once and feel the difference.
Would you believe that the world's heaviest pumpkin weighs 1,237 kg? Wow! It's equal to the weight of a large truck. I can't even believe that pumpkin really exists. So how did people grow it? And why is its size and weight so awesome? To understand clearly, don't miss any details in today's video. Giant pumpkin farms are grown and harvested this way. Of course, creating a pumpkin as heavy as a car is not simple, because regular pumpkin seeds cannot produce a giant pumpkin. Giant seeds are needed, but achieving great weight requires superior genetics and many other factors. Garden growing space is important. Each garden should be about 1,000 square feet. This area sounds quite large, but is essential for plant growth. Avoid shady areas and choose a site with a well-drained surface. Growing giant pumpkins requires starting early. Seeds should be sown individually and started in pots around the end of April. After about 10 to 14 days after sowing, the plants will grow leaves and be planted in the garden to have more open space. Plants can be protected from late spring frosts using floating row covers, cold frames, or small greenhouses. Pumpkins with shallow roots should be watered slowly with at least 1 inch of water per week if rainfall is insufficient. More water may be needed on hot and windy summer days, so watering should be done in the morning or early afternoon. Overhead sprinklers are effective, however wet leaves increase the risk of disease, especially angular leaf spot, bacterial blight, and powdery mildew. Therefore, watering at the base of the plant is a way to prevent pests for your pumpkins. Once the pumpkins have fruited and reached volleyball size, cut them all back to just a single pumpkin per plant. The less competition for nutrients, the higher the success rate of achieving giant-sized pumpkins. Because of the size and rapid growth of these pumpkins, pruning the vines and roots is important. This will prevent breakage and splitting of the stem. To protect pumpkins from direct sunlight, shade them with burlap or other lightweight material. A plain white bedsheet covering the pumpkin with the stem exposed will also suffice. This will prevent premature hardening of the outer skin and will allow the pumpkin to reach its full genetic potential in terms of physical size. The day will finally come to harvest the giant pumpkin. With the weight of thousands of pounds, transporting them is not easy. Giant pumpkins weighing nearly 700 pounds will require a different kind of technique to move and transport them. There are several types of lift frames and belts that can be made for use with tractor-mounted loaders and front-end loaders. Smaller pumpkins can be transported in the bed of a pickup truck using a pulley system. So where are these pumpkins transported and for what purpose? The giant pumpkins will be put on display or participate in locally organized competitions. The most famous pumpkin contest in the world is held in California, USA. This contest took place for the 50th time, and this is the pumpkin that won the championship with a weight of up to 1,237 kg, successfully breaking the world record. Previously, the giant pumpkin recognized by Guinness weighed 1,215 kilos in 2021. Do you know how this giant pumpkin was treated after setting the Guinness World Record? The pumpkin was made into a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween, and it went on to win the Guinness World Record as the world's largest jack-o'-lantern in 2022. Have any of you seen a jack-o'-lantern? Is this one giant enough? Exhibitions are also held in some European countries for farmers to display the largest and most beautiful pumpkins. Indeed, these are all very meaningful competitions for gardeners and visitors. Do you find gardening interesting, especially pumpkin gardening? Giant pumpkins not only help you feel happier, but also to conquer challenges. Try growing a pumpkin plant and taking good care of it, ensuring that you'll have many positive changes in your life.
Did you know that garlic was once shunned by British and American cultures because its pungent smell lingered even after meals? However, by the late 1900s, the United States had emerged as the garlic capital of the world. About 24,000 acres of garlic were grown each year, yielding a total of about 400 million pounds. Large-scale factories and farms were once the pride of their country. So, what happened to the industry? Why did the million-dollar garlic factories close? Join me in today's video to find out the truth. The story of garlic in America begins in the early 1890s, when immigrants from Southern Europe arrived in California's Santa Clara Valley. With fertile soil and a mild climate, garlic quickly became a staple in vegetable gardens. However, it wasn't until early 1929 that commercial garlic cultivation really took off, and the largest garlic farms were born. The garlic industry has emerged as a national phenomenon, bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue for farmers. California is the largest producer of garlic in the United States, with 90% of the country's garlic grown and processed here. The smell of garlic wafts through the towns, so you can easily recognize this as a large-scale garlic processing area. In the United States, garlic is usually planted in the fall, in carefully plowed and prepared raised beds. The timing of planting is extremely important. Plant early enough so that the soil does not freeze before the root system develops, but late enough that they do not emerge from the ground. According to statistics, there are hundreds of varieties of garlic grown in the United States, but the most common on farms are California early and California late. The garlic cloves will be planted about 1.5 inches deep. On large-scale farms, garlic planting is mainly done with specialized transplanters, which optimizes time and effort. Garlic takes about 9 months to grow and is ready to harvest when 40 to 60% of the leaves turn yellow, usually around mid-July. On some farms, garlic can be harvested by hand, but modern farms today often use automated machinery for greater efficiency. From the field, garlic is cleaned and transported to the processing plant, where sorting and packaging take place. Typically, garlic is sold by the pound, by the vine, or by the bulb. However, dried garlic accounts for about 75% of garlic consumed in the United States, so dried garlic processing plants are becoming more popular. Modern high-capacity machinery ensures that garlic is supplied to both domestic and export markets. One of the largest and most famous garlic producers in the United States is Gilroy, California. It even holds an annual garlic festival to celebrate this valuable crop. And you may not know it, April 19th is that anniversary. While once the garlic capital of the world, the US garlic industry has lost that status. By 1990, Chinese garlic had flooded the US market with about 60 million pounds. This imported garlic was about 4 times cheaper than American garlic, which severely affected the industry. Although the US government raised tariffs to curb the impact of Chinese garlic, many garlic farms closed. Half of California's largest garlic packing plants have disappeared in the past decade. In just a few months, the amount of cheap garlic imported into the United States is nearly equal to the annual production of Christopher Ranch, the largest garlic packing plant in the country. In addition, a shortage of workers has caused garlic farms to shrink. Therefore, their only solution to this problem is to increase wages for workers. This also leads to increased labor costs, affecting profits and decisions to develop farms. All these factors have pushed large-scale garlic farms and factories in the United States into an unprecedented, difficult situation. The garlic industry in the United States is no longer as dominant as it once was. But in this situation, farmers still find a ray of hope. New directions have been implemented to increase profits, as the average American consumes 2.5 pounds of garlic per year. One of the most popular trends today is organic garlic production. With health awareness and changing consumption habits, consumers are increasingly paying attention to the quality and safety of products. Therefore, many farms are also applying organic garlic growing techniques to meet this demand. Therefore, there are special garlic products priced up to $1 per bulb. In addition, increasing modern machinery and equipment and reducing labor are also effective ways to increase productivity and limit costs. Farms are gradually focusing on product quality. It is predicted that garlic production in the United States will continue to increase in the coming years. This is a positive signal for garlic factories to recover and develop in the future. Do you think the U.S. garlic production and processing industry will regain its glory? Please share your opinion in the comments section. Xinjiang is considered the region with the harshest weather in China, with summer temperatures reaching 50 degrees Celsius but dropping rapidly at night. Due to the high temperature difference, agricultural crops are difficult to adapt to in this area. But Jujube is a new breakthrough for farmers here and helps them change their lives. Let's explore with us now how farmers in Xinjiang get rich from Jujube farms. The jujube is a native fruit of China and has been cultivated for over 4,000 years. It plays a major role in the culture, medicine, and economy of the country. From fresh consumption to drying or traditional medicine, jujubes play an important role in the cuisine and health of the Chinese people. Xinjiang is known as a land rich in light and heat resources, especially the Tarim Basin in southern Xinjiang. This place has long sunshine, drought, little rain, large temperature difference between day and night, which is beneficial for nutrient accumulation. Pests and diseases are not easy to occur, very suitable for jujube to grow completely naturally and organically. Therefore, this area has become an ideal place to grow jujube trees, while other crops are difficult to grow due to the high temperature. Jujube has become the main agricultural crop for farmers in this area. Proper irrigation and pest control are also important. To ensure the quality of the fruit, large-scale farms use both chemical and organic methods to prevent pests. By introducing natural predators such as ladybugs to deter harmful insects. Xinjiang's total jujube output currently accounts for 90% of China's supply, with millions of tons harvested each year. In particular, according to statistics, the jujube growing and processing industry provides jobs for more than 30 million Chinese people. Jujubes are usually harvested for the first time from the 3rd to 4th year after planting. Starting from the 2nd crop, they will be harvested once a year. Harvesting time is very important because the fruit needs to reach maximum maturity to develop its characteristic sweetness and ensure the flavor of the fruit. Harvesting is done manually or with the help of mechanical shakers to ensure minimal damage to the fruit. After harvesting, tons of jujubes are transported to processing plants every day and processed using various methods, depending on consumer demand. Processing is an important aspect as it adds value to the fruit and allows for long-term storage. The main method of processing jujubes is drying. Most jujubes are dried after harvest because dried jujubes are the most commonly consumed type. In order to get the dried jujube products to meet the standards and taste, many farmers often dry them under the sun. Sunlight. With natural heat and light, large quantities of jujubes will become dry after just a few days of drying. However, modern factories now use large-scale dryers to ensure processing time, faster transformation, and consistent product quality. In addition, jujube is also an ingredient in the confectionery industry such as jam, candy, etc. If you travel to China, you will easily see products such as jujube jam and jujube candy sold in many supermarkets or grocery stores. Jujube is also a valuable medicinal herb in traditional Chinese medicine, used to treat insomnia, digestive problems, and improve overall health. Nowadays, pharmaceutical companies also often extract bioactive compounds from jujube to produce medicinal supplements. With many great benefits, the demand for jujube consumption is increasing year by year, making it one of the key industries in China, bringing in profits of up to billions of dollars each year. The jujube industry in China not only contributes significantly to the agricultural economy, but also plays a key role in the country's export market. With the growing global health demand, jujube products are exported to Asian, European, and North American countries. Regions such as Xinjiang and Hebei have become major hubs for jujube production and processing, with modern processing plants established to handle large volumes of the fruit. The Chinese government has also supported the expansion of the jujube industry through subsidies and technological advancements, ensuring that small-scale farmers can compete in the global market. Have you ever seen a sea snail that looks like a snail? It is a common snail in Southeast Asia, especially in Vietnam. It has a special scent, so it is often called Babylonia areolata. This snail is considered a delicacy in many Asian regions. Due to high demand, in Vietnam, the Babylonia areolata farming and processing industry has strongly developed. So, right now, let's explore with us the largest Babylonia areolata farm in Vietnam to see how fishermen make money from them. In nature, Babylonia areolata is commonly found in tropical waters throughout the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. However, the largest numbers are concentrated in Southeast Asia and are mainly farmed in coastal provinces of Vietnam such as Ninh Thuan, Thanh Hoa, and Binh Thuan. Unlike wild-caught snails, Babylonia areolata are raised in controlled environments, in outdoor ponds or concrete tanks. Farmers can adjust the amount of water, salinity, and temperature to ensure healthy growth of Babylonia areolata and high quality. Since the snails are sensitive to water quality, farmers must maintain a stable, high-quality water environment. Water must be filtered regularly and oxygen levels maintained at optimal levels. In order for Babylonia areolata to reach standard proportions, they need to be trained in hatcheries where larvae are produced and then raised in nurseries until they reach a certain size before being transported to commercial farms. Feed for Babylonia areolata is also relatively simple and can be found locally. The feed provided is mainly organic detritus, algae, and organic matter. In addition, farmers also provide additional feed sources such as fish meal or other seafood byproducts to support growth. Only provide enough feed because excess feed can easily pollute the tank, leading to Babylonia areolata infection. To minimize risks, farmers need to monitor and prevent diseases regularly by checking water quality and snail health. They are raised for 6 to 8 months and are ready to harvest, at which point farmers use simple nets to harvest them. Babylonia areolata has a high price on the market, helping farmers have a stable income. Many small-scale farms have gradually shifted to large-scale and earned high profits thanks to domestic consumption and export demand. Every year, Vietnam exports hundreds of tons of Babylonia areolata to Asian countries such as Japan, China, and South Korea. Thanks to the controlled environment, farmers can cultivate Babylonia areolata all year round, ensuring a stable supply and meeting market demand. A fixed export market also creates a stable income for rural communities. Currently, coastal provinces in Vietnam harvest hundreds of tons of Babylonia areolata each year. This snail species has a very high yield. A longtime Babylonia areolata farmer said that each hectare can yield 50 tons of Babylonia areolata. The selling price ranges from $10 to $20 per kilogram. Therefore, provinces that raise large Babylonia areolata can harvest millions of dollars each year, promoting the economic development of the region. In Asia in general, and Vietnam in particular, the consumption of snail meat has existed for a long time. Babylonia areolata is often transported and consumed fresh to seafood shops and stores. If you travel to Vietnam, you can easily find snail restaurants and enjoy dishes made from Babylonia areolata, especially the popular snail restaurants or sidewalk eateries, because Babylonia areolata can be consumed from luxury to popular restaurants. Exported Babylonia areolata are also processed and packaged in factories to extend their shelf life. At the factory, Babylonia areolata is cleaned to remove sand and mucus, then packed by weight and quickly frozen. Some facilities only process the meat. Each Babylonia areolata is carefully removed from the shell. Their meat can be cooked and quickly frozen, ensuring that the quality does not deteriorate during long-term transportation. If you have ever enjoyed Babylonia areolata, do you know why they are called Babylonia areolata? Babylonia areolata is named after the smell of the snail. Even when fresh, this snail has a natural aroma and is more attractive when cooked. Therefore, Babylonia areolata is also known as the Queen of Snails. Babylonia areolata meat is not only delicious, chewy, and sweet, it also contains a large amount of vitamins and minerals necessary for the human body. Babylonia areolata meat and intestines are also rich in nutrients such as protein, calcium, iron, and potassium, in addition to many different vitamins known to strengthen the body's immune system and effectively protect health. Therefore, this type of snail is considered a nutritious food for the elderly, children, and pregnant women. In recent years, the United States has been having a headache with newly introduced invasive species, of which hairy crabs are one of the fastest spreading species in swamp areas. While Americans are launching a movement to control hairy crabs, a part of Chinese residents also want to come to the US to help their country destroy this invasive species. Today, join us to explore the role of hairy crabs in America and China. Thousands of years ago, the field crab farming industry developed in China. They were considered one of the dishes for aristocrats and landlord families. To this day, the Suzhou and Songjiang areas have become the most famous freshwater crab production areas, inseparable from the development of lakes and fields. The cost of each hairy crab can be up to 60 yuan, about $10 each, and depends on the season. Because the weather in regions changes with the seasons, it is difficult for the hairy crab farming industry to raise it all year round, so out-of-season hairy crabs will be more expensive. Hairy crab farming is an important industry in some parts of China, especially around Yangcheng Lake, which is famous for producing some of the most prized varieties of hairy crab. The brand value of hairy crab in China reaches more than $20 billion every year. However, the number of crabs is still not enough to serve demand because the consumption is very large. Demand for hairy crabs is so high that they are often ordered weeks in advance during peak season. Popularity extends beyond China, with exports to other countries with large Chinese communities. Hairy crabs are usually the size of a palm. They are larger than some other crab species and have more delicious meat quality. The crab farming and processing industry in China also helps create jobs and economic growth for millions of people in China. In short, hairy crab is not just a seafood species, it is also a hallmark of culinary tradition and a luxury dish of considerable social and economic importance. Despite its economic and social importance in China, when introduced to the US, hairy crabs are considered one of the species that negatively affects the aquaculture industry in the US. Chinese hairy crabs were first developed in the San Francisco Bay Area in the early 1990s. They have since spread to many rivers and estuaries along the west coast and have also been discovered in the Great Lakes and Mississippi River region. In areas where hairy crabs are abundant, their burrowing can damage irrigation systems, affecting agricultural productivity and increasing maintenance costs. Additionally, crabs can become entangled in fishing gear such as nets and traps, which can reduce the effectiveness of commercial and recreational fisheries. In some cases, fishermen have reported significant losses due to damage to fishing gear caused by hairy crabs. In addition to affecting agriculture, hairy crabs also compete with other native species because they are opportunistic feeders, consuming a variety of plants and animals. They compete with native species such as fish and other crustaceans for food and habitat, potentially leading to declines in native populations. In some cases, Chinese hairy crabs may prey on endangered or threatened species, further exacerbating their decline. In recent years, the United States has taken measures to prevent the number and population of hairy crabs, but it is difficult to eradicate due to the species' very high reproductive rate, diverse diet, and ability to survive in many different environments. Efforts to control hairy crab populations have had only limited success. In response to the invasive threat, the United States has implemented regulations prohibiting the importation, transportation, and possession of live Chinese hairy crabs. Enforcement of these regulations is critical to prevent new introductions and limit the spread of existing populations. Faced with that situation, thousands of Chinese people have offered to come to America to help them destroy hairy crabs, and they were also very surprised when in their country, hairy crabs were very expensive and popular, but in America, they could only be thrown away. So, why don't Americans eat hairy crabs? In a long tradition, Americans do not eat hairy crabs, so the demand for hairy crabs among American consumers is very low. They tend to prefer other types of seafood. Without strong consumer interest, suppliers will not have much incentive to introduce hairy crab to the market. In addition, wild catches can accumulate contaminants such as heavy metals, pesticides, or other contaminants, especially in areas where they are invasive. This raises food safety concerns, making them a less attractive choice for consumption. Besides, hairy crabs have also been studied to contain parasites that are harmful to human health. Therefore, the vast majority of Americans do not eat hairy crab. Hello everyone! Surely when mentioning paper, we often only think of books, newspapers, or notebooks in daily life. But few people know that paper is an indispensable part of Chinese culture and history, a country with a tradition of papermaking spanning thousands of years. So, what is special about traditional Chinese paper, and how do craftsmen produce it? Today, let's explore the interesting secrets of these traditional papermaking workshops. Chinese handmade paper was born more than 2,000 years ago, an important invention of China, helping to preserve and spread culture. Initially, paper was made from hemp and animal skin, but gradually, bamboo became the main material. Chinese handmade paper not only serves the field of calligraphy, but is also used in many fields such as printing, packaging, hygiene, and worship. Handmade paper was born more than 2,000 years ago, an important invention of China, helping to preserve and spread culture. Initially, paper was made from hemp and animal skin, but gradually, bamboo became the main material. Chinese handmade paper not only serves the field of calligraphy, but is also used in many fields such as printing, packaging, hygiene, and worship. If you think that making paper is simply chopping up pulp and drying it, then you are wrong. Each stage requires patience, creativity, and high skills of the craftsman. They have to carry out each step meticulously so that each sheet of paper is a work of art. Let's imagine a day as a papermaker. The first step is to prepare the raw materials: bamboo, mulberry bark, and sandalwood. All must be soaked in an alkaline solution to remove the glue. This is an extremely important step, helping the paper to be flexible and not hard, like an old advertisement. If you think that making paper is simply chopping up pulp and drying it, then you are wrong. Each stage requires patience, creativity, and high skills of the craftsman. They have to carry out each step meticulously so that each sheet of paper is a work of art. Let's imagine a day as a papermaker. The first step is to prepare the raw materials: bamboo, mulberry bark, and sandalwood. All must be soaked in an alkaline solution to remove the glue. This is an extremely important step, helping the paper to be flexible and not hard, like an old advertisement. After the raw materials have been soaked for enough time, the worker begins to grind them into powder. Previously, this step was quite hard, having to be pounded by hand continuously, but now there are machines to support, much faster and more convenient. Next, the powder is put into large water tanks, stirred into a viscous liquid. The worker will use wooden molds and bamboo mats to scoop the powder, creating a thin layer of paper like sushi wrapper paper. But this is not an easy step. It must be extremely skillful. The paper must be even, not lumpy. Otherwise, it will create a finished product that everyone wants to throw away. After having a thin layer of paper, it is time to press to remove excess water and make the paper flexible. This is the step that helps the paper survive the drying stage afterwards without tearing like old sheets of paper. Finally, the paper will be dried in the sun or dried in a drying room. These dried papers are usually very durable and can be used for a century without rotting. And if you want to do it quickly, some places use ovens to steam the paper quickly. You might think that Chinese handmade paper is only for small books, right? Oh no! Factories also produce giant sheets of paper. These giant sheets of paper are often used for special purposes, such as high-end art products or religious ceremonies. Surely when you see them, you will not imagine that handmade paper can be so big. Finally, the paper will be dried in the sun or dried in a drying room. These dried papers are usually very durable and can be used for a century without rotting. And if you want to do it quickly, some places use ovens to steam the paper quickly. You might think that Chinese handmade paper is only for small books, right? Oh no! Factories also produce giant sheets of paper. These giant sheets of paper are often used for special purposes, such as high-end art products or religious ceremonies. Surely when you see them, you will not imagine that handmade paper can be so big. Although Chinese handmade paper is still used in many fields, the production of handmade paper is gradually decreasing. What is the reason? The younger generation is increasingly leaving the countryside to find work in the city, putting this craft at risk of extinction. Paper-making areas are often located in remote rural areas with difficult transportation and difficult to find young workers. Although Chinese handmade paper is still used in many fields, the production of handmade paper is gradually decreasing. What is the reason? The younger generation is increasingly leaving the countryside to find work in the city, putting this craft at risk of extinction. Paper-making areas are often located in remote rural areas with difficult transportation and difficult to find young workers. Despite many difficulties, many localities are still making efforts to preserve traditional handmade papermaking. Paper museums and cultural villages, such as the Sichuan Handmade Paper Museum and the Chinese Traditional Papermaking and Printing Cultural Village, not only protect this craft but also develop tourism, helping to raise public awareness of the cultural value of handmade paper. Chinese handmade paper still holds an important place in calligraphy, painting, and high-end handicrafts. In recent years, programs to preserve and revive traditional crafts have been vigorously implemented. The government and private organizations are working together to improve the quality and protect the unique values of handmade paper. The Corydale is a breed of sheep known for its excellent wool quality and high-quality meat production. But did you know that this breed has a very interesting history and outstanding characteristics that make it a popular choice for many farms around the world? Join me as we explore the largest Corydale sheep farms in the United States to find out. The Corydale breed was born in 1874 in New Zealand, when James Little, manager of the Corydale estate, crossed merino sheep with Lincoln sheep. His goal was to create a breed that could produce good meat and soft wool, was easy to raise, and adapted well to many climatic conditions. In 1914, this breed was introduced to the United States and quickly won the hearts of farmers thanks to its superior meat and wool quality. Today, the Corydale has become one of the most popular sheep breeds in the United States and around the world, second only to merino sheep. The Corydale is a large hornless sheep with a high meat yield. Mature rams can weigh between 175 and 275 pounds, while mature ewes can weigh between 130 and 180 pounds. This breed is not only capable of producing quality meat, but also high wool yields. The Corydale has long, high-yielding wool, with fiber diameters ranging from 24.5 to 31.5 microns. Mature fleece can weigh between 10 and 17 pounds, and can be 3.5 to 6 inches long. Wool yield rates range from 50 to 60%, ensuring high-quality wool that is popular in the textile industry. For Corydale sheep to grow healthy and produce high productivity, the care process is a decisive factor. Corydale sheep farms always focus on a complete and reasonable diet. Sheep are fed fresh grass, grains, and nutritional supplements, ensuring healthy sheep, high productivity, and standard wool quality. Not only that, farms also invest in airy, clean barns, providing sheep with an ideal living environment for development. This careful care is the key to the high productivity and best quality of the Corydale sheep. Breeding is an important part of maintaining the quality of the Corydale sheep breed. Farms apply strict selection methods, choosing only sheep with outstanding physical characteristics, fine wool, and good health. This not only helps maintain the quality of the breed, but also contributes to increasing meat and wool production. With scientific breeding methods, the Corydale sheep breed has been continuously improved and meets the increasing demand of the market. Shearing is an essential part of caring for Corydale sheep. Corydale sheep have long, fine and thick, high-quality fibers, which are highly sought after in the textile industry. Shearing is carried out annually in the spring, when the wool is at its thickest and highest quality. Once harvested, the wool is processed and exported around the world, meeting the needs of fabric manufacturers and craftsmen. In addition to providing quality products, the Corydale sheep industry is a strong contributor to the rural economy in the United States. Corydale sheep products, including meat and wool, are increasingly popular not only domestically, but also around the world. The Corydale sheep industry in the United States currently has more than 547,000 registered sheep, and this number continues to grow. Corydale products not only generate income for farmers, but also promote the development of the local economy. With the goal of improving the quality of the breed and affirming the value of the product, many Corydale sheep farms in the United States participate in major competitions at national agricultural fairs, as well as specialized sheep exhibitions. These competitions are not only an opportunity for farms to promote their products, but also help them exchange, learn, and improve their breeding methods. The winning sheep in the competitions are often given priority in the breeding process, helping to maintain and develop the high-quality Corydale sheep breed. With its easy-to-raise characteristics, good adaptability to many climatic conditions, and outstanding economic value, the Corydale sheep farming industry promises a strong future. Corydale sheep farms not only help improve the lives of Americans, but also create quality products for the international market. The future of Corydale sheep farms will continue to grow as more and more farmers participate in the livestock industry, contributing to improving the quality and value of the Corydale breed worldwide. The Corydale sheep farming model has really brought positive values to American farmers. How do you feel about this farming model? Leave a comment to let us know.
While we enjoy delicious glasses of milk every day, many farmers are facing the problem of rising feed prices. The process of producing and delivering milk to consumers is a long and challenging journey. Do these challenges affect the quality of the milk we consume every day? And why are feed prices skyrocketing? Find out in today's video. Dairy farms in the US are struggling because of high feed prices, partly due to China. People often think of cows grazing, but is that enough? For dairy farmers, that's definitely not enough, with hundreds, even thousands of dairy cows. Providing a variety of feed is crucial. Cows need to be provided with enough nutrition to produce quality milk, helping farmers maximize profits. However, solving this problem is not easy. Feed prices are rising to record highs, reaching their highest level in many years. From 2019 to 2022, the cost of raising organic livestock in the United States increased by $825 million, essentially doubling the cost of animal feed. This pressure is weighing on farms and threatening the survival of the dairy industry. Faced with this challenge, the United States has seen a series of dairy farms closures. In the hills of northeastern Tennessee, thousands of farmers have dwindled to fewer than 40. A cow that produces about 24,000 pounds of milk brings in about $4,457, but the cost of producing that milk is $6,192, meaning the farmer is losing money. So what's driving the price of feed in the United States? One of the main reasons is China. What's the connection between the US dairy industry and China? The underlying cause likely dates back to 2018 or to 2019, when African swine fever broke out in China, decimating the pig herd. China is trying to rebuild its pig herd, increasing imports to feed like soya beans. Hundreds of millions of tons of soybeans are imported into China each year, driving up soybean prices. This has had a huge impact on the US livestock industry, leading to fierce competition in the global feed market. But the problem is not entirely China's, as the US is also facing drought, especially in California and the US West. Prolonged drought reduces the productivity of food crops such as corn and soya beans, causing feed reserves to decrease sharply, forcing producers to increase selling prices. For this reason, the government is unlikely to solve the problem in the short term, as the consequences of climate changes are becoming more evident and droughts will continue. How farmers can access water during droughts remains a controversial issue. In addition, rising fuel prices are also causing headaches for farmers. Although gasoline prices have cooled down compared to a few years ago, this cost still puts pressure on farms. Most feed mills today use modern equipment, so fuel consumption is higher. Dairy farms will also have to use more expensive feed. These factors have pushed up the cost of producing cow's milk, significantly reducing profit margins. Most organic grain for dairy cows in the United States is imported. The war in Ukraine negatively impacted organic crop production last year, tightening global supplies of these commodities and driving up prices. Additionally, the war in Ukraine has caused demand for organic Indian soybeans in Europe to skyrocket, leaving many US farmers struggling, as most of the organic soybeans and meal used by beef farmers comes from India. Despite the challenges, many farmers are looking for a suitable solution to adopt to the new situation. Adopting technology and changing production methods can be the key to getting through this period. Some farmers can reduce production costs by improving cow health, reproductive performance and feed-to-milk conversion rates. Investing in precision technologies such as robotic milking system, rotary stalls and reproductive health technology can help reduce labor costs. The agricultural sector needs support from the government and communities to get through this crisis. This not only affects the domestic milk supply but also affects the welfare of many rural communities.
Thank you for following today's discovery journey. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting videos. See you in the next.